Alright, let's get this thing kicked off. We are in the easternmost St. John's area, just across Warm Springs Avenue from Hawkins. This is a smaller area, it's villas. We're going to fly over it twice in a couple different directions just so you can kind of see, and then I'll orient you to where it is exactly within a couple different areas. Again, like I said, it's right across the street from Hawkins. Now, there's only one way in and one way out to this off of Warm Springs Boulevard. Warm Springs Avenue and Megason Road. You'd have to turn onto Megason, and then it's like literally 2 seconds off of Warm Springs Avenue. Nice little villa area. Nice little area in general. There is the little rec center, small area rec center with the mail center with the pool. Someone was enjoying it on this day. And there are some walking paths that go around the outside of the area as well. You can see Warm Springs Avenue going over the turnpike in the background there. And again, that turnpike is just coming out of Wildwood. You can get off the Wildwood exit and head this way. It would be like a roundabout kind of through Brownwood. I don't know how they're going to do that access point once Richmond is in there. I believe they'll have a point where you can get in. This is where Megason crosses over Warm Springs Avenue. And then you come right down, and this is the only entrance that is there currently. One entrance, one exit. Quite a new area. I do think there were some people moving in or moving their stuff in. I don't know if there's anybody living here currently, but you can see the name there. I think it's Levi and Boo's Villas. I don't know. Call me crazy. That's what it looks like anyway. You can see now, here's some of the other villages in the background. This is St. John's in the foreground, and then you can see there's Bradford is actually off in the distance, and then you have Hawkins as well. Now I have some arrows coming up here to point them out for you. This area is just south of the Continental Country Club also, just through those trees actually on the top left. Not the very top left, but... So there's Bradford, and then Hawkins is just across the street, right here, and that whole area. You do see St. Catherine up in the distant background, in the top left corner. That is St. Catherine. And then right across the turnpike on Warm Springs Avenue is Magnolia Plaza and the bigger rec center. You have a couple rec centers to choose from in this area because you have the Ezell Rec Center, then you have the Aviary, and you also have the one just south of the turnpike. And then you have the local, obviously the mail center here, which is smaller, but it does have the pool. This will have all the mailboxes, I believe, for everybody to pick their stuff up. You can see a putt course and the shuffleboard there as well. Quite a nice little area. I'm impressed by this. And they like literally put it up within a few months. Now the second area we're going to look at is not the main area of St. John's, but it's just to the east of the main area. This looks, well, obviously will be the last one that is probably finished. The main area is pretty close, and you'll see that soon after this. This is just a little bit to the west of the last area that we just looked at, down Megason toward Brownwood. Another smaller area. It's right off of Lake Okahumpka through these trees. The top left of this screen in those trees, that's where Continental Country Club is, by the way. We'll circle over this a couple times. I'll show you. We're actually bordering Magasin right now, looking north, kind of northeast. This was a Sunday, definitely a lot of construction going on today, all throughout these areas. And I just seen a video the other day by the villages that they're putting up some of the new charter schools, so I'm going to try and get down there pretty soon. In the background there you can see the main area of St. John's. I don't know what else to call it. Supposedly these are all St. John's areas, so that's a little further to the east. Now I'm going to tell you one of the big hang-ups through these areas, a lot of people ask, is about the traffic noise from the turnpike. And I'm going to be honest, like when I'm in these areas, I don't hear a lot of noise. I definitely don't think you're going to hear it in your house. So I don't see what the big hang-up would be on the turnpike. That's just personal preference. I think you'd actually have to be down here to make that decision, obviously, on your own. But you can see Lake Okahumpka in the background there. We're going to spin around and go the other way. And then you can see that is the place that we just looked at last time. That St. John's, that eastern St. John's area, up toward Warm Springs Avenue, again crossing over to the south side of the turnpike. I'm sure the noise at night is a little louder, but again, I don't think you would hear it in your house. I could be wrong. Leave a comment if you do think so. Here's the main St. John's area. I had to split this up into two because I'm not allowed to fly over the power lines. So this is the eastern side of the power lines. It's a little smaller than the opposite side of the road. You can see the power lines in the background there. And this is like the main area that's under construction right now on the bigger side. They have some really nice trails going around the outside of this area, but they are still blocked off. They say no trespassing by the villages. I'm sure the villages doesn't really want people going through the construction areas. And you can actually see right there in the middle of your screen, there's a sign up on that trail that leads out to the trail saying no trespassing. And Lake Okahumpka, again, the lake is looking good. It's actually looking really good. I'm excited to see what the Okahumpka Recreation Center is going to look like and how they're going to incorporate that into using the lake and all that kind of stuff. You can see the turnpike in the background. A lot of traffic as always. Now between the turnpike and this area is Magasin Road. That leads all the way, if you were to turn right out of here, it goes to Brownwood. And the Water Lily Bridge is also down that way. If you were to turn left, you're headed toward Warm Springs Avenue, St. Catherine, Hawkins, those areas. So plenty of shopping or activities in these areas, especially with the Azell Rec Center coming in, because you're going to have Sawgrass Grove and the live entertainment at Sawgrass Grove, along with the outdoor market and the restaurants like McGrady's that are going in there. This is a really nice area. It's like the best time of the year here, just because the temperatures aren't blistering hot yet, and it's spring and everything is so green because it's been raining. So everything looks fantastic. Again, you can see the trails along the outside. And we'll take another spin around. I try and get as many views as I can, or like angles as I can when I'm flying, so that if you do have a house in this area, or you're interested in a house in the area, you can actually see what it looks like all the way around. You can see some of the construction debris in the retention pond there. They'll clean all that up before they have this area open. I saw the same thing in Chitty Chatty and in Bradford when they were building those. The lake looks fantastic. You won't have any access here, obviously, but you will from the Okahumpka Rec Center. And you always have Okahumpka, Lake Okahumpka Park on the other side too, if you wanted to get in the car and head over there. You can see a better look at the turnpike in Magasin, and the golf cart path is also on the other side of that wall there. And this is headed toward Brownwood, and also headed toward the area that we're going to look at next. Now this is just west of the power lines. This is the main St. John's area, closest to Lake Okahumpka Recreation Center. See a lot of stuff still going up over here, being finished off. I did see a lot of writing on the windows, so if you bought a house in this area, they do have the congratulations with your names on it. A lot more cars in this area, and you can see the moving trucks, obviously. This is the area where they had those two bags where they were like dredging the lake right by the rec center, and getting the sand out of the bottom, soaking it out. This is where those two big bags were, like right by where those blue roofs are right there. And that's also where Lake Okahumpka Recreation Center is. I'm like obsessed with this lake. I think it's looking, this is probably the best I've seen it look this time of year. The retention ponds are looking a little brown, but they probably haven't been treated or whatever they do to those. I think it's very interesting to me that they move the water from one retention pond to the other, and different areas in the villages based on rainfall and how they're what the water tables are for that area, because they do use a lot of that reclaimed water for irrigation and the irrigation in the yards. There's some pretty cool little nature areas in here also in the St. John's, the new one, where you can walk around, and it's kind of built into the neighborhood, I guess I would say, which is really cool. I think that's fantastic when they do that. This area that we're flying over here currently, but there is another one like right in the middle of this little neighborhood here, which I thought was pretty cool. A lot of walking paths, biking paths that go around this area as well, which is going to be extremely nice because you have Lake Okahumpka right there, so you can walk along the lake. We just went all the way to the power lines, and now we're turning back going west, and this would be like we're headed toward Brownwood. I believe there is 2 entrance and exits to this area. One is by Lake Okahumpka Rec Center, and then the other one is by right off of Magasin Road, just next to the power lines actually. So up here you can actually see what I was talking about, the nature area right in the middle of this like little housing development, which is pretty cool. When I was walking around in here, you could hear the birds chirping, and it's kind of reminded me of Fenny, where they have the otters. I don't know if you'll have otters in here, obviously, The otters kind of hang out at the spring in Fenny. Congratulations to the people moving in there. That's exciting. You got your new house. This is another fantastic area. I think St. John's is going to be another one of my favorites, just based off the lake and how close it is to the lake. Now I had to move a little bit closer to the rec center here so we can get some more video for you. You get a close-up look at the rec center along as well as the lake, and here's that nature area that I was talking about as well. It just looks like a bunch of trees, but there is water in the middle of that. It's not really swampy. It's more of like it looks like a planned area, which is kind of why it reminds me of Fenny. So I think if your house backs up to that, you might have an issue with mosquitoes, but at least you'll have like a pretty cool nature area behind you to look at and listen to in the morning while you're drinking your coffee on your screen porch. Or your lanai, as we call them here in Florida. You can see the Water Lily Bridge there, and in the background you can see Richmond. I believe the Richmond pitch and putt. I think it's a pitch and putt. I know I'm going to get some comments telling me what it is and what it isn't. If it's a pitch and putt or if it's just a putt, let me know. But it is straight in front of us, right on the other side of the Water Lily Bridge there. We will fly over that later when we go through Richmond, and you can see the layout of the greens and how that's going to come together when they build it out. This is headed toward the recreation center here. I didn't realize how long this video was going to be. I didn't know how big St. John's was until I actually went down there and tried to get all of these areas in one video. So this is probably going to be the longest video I've ever posted, but I had to get everything in here. Now you see the Lake Okahumpka Rec Center. I'm going to just make an assumption that they've been working on the inside because I feel like it looks very similar to last time I was out here. And they haven't done anything with this dirt jetty, I think you would call it. Or like a dirt pier kind of thing out here, where I would assume they're going to put boats. It looks like they haven't been working on that part at all. So I don't know if they're kind of at a standstill with this or what they're doing with it, but I'm sure you'll see some updates soon by them. This is going to be a really cool area in my opinion, if done right. From what I've heard, they're talking about canoes and like the boards you take out that you stand on. I can't think of them what the name is right now, but and then you also have the Richmond pitch and putt on the other side. This again is Megason Road running through here. So Megason runs all the way from Brownwood all the way down through around St. John's into like in between St. John's and Hawkins and up to Morse Boulevard. Closer look at the Okahumpka Rec Center. And you can see, if you saw the videos that I've done previously out here, not a lot of progress on the outside. So I don't know if they're kind of at a standstill with that, or maybe they're working on the inside, doing some details. Now that's where the other entrance is, right where we just came from, and then this would be like you're coming in through that entrance headed east. A lot of people were checking this area out. I saw a couple people walking around their foundations, or what I would think is their foundation. They might be just looking at houses, but this area is becoming more popular every day, especially the closer they get. This house here looks like it's gonna have a hot tub, so they might be some good friends to have, if you know what I mean. It's pretty cool. Looking south, you can see all of the other areas south of the turnpike, Marsh Bend and all of that. Again, there's so much to access here with Brownwood, and you can go south over the Water Lily Bridge into DeLuna. You can go, if you want to go by car, you can go pretty much to probably like 5 or 6 big rec centers are right there. I mean, obviously you can go by golf cart also, but there's that nature area again. And then we're kind of headed toward the Richmond area, which once again I had to move. I had to drive and stop at 4 or 5 different areas just to get these videos, because this St. John's and Richmond are so spread out in such massive areas. It's pretty impressive, actually. And then you're going to get a view of the lake here. Right across this lake, there is a park where you can get canoes. There's a boat ramp. They have a playground if you'd want to take your kids or grandkids over there. Always something to do. There's walking paths. And then we're going to take a look at the Richmond area. Now, Richmond here is not a lot going on, to be honest. This is the entrance here. This is off of Megason. All the machinery, big heavy machinery, was kind of just hanging out, so I did a little fly through here. My camera was kind of shaky at the beginning, so pardon me if it's a little shaky, but that's what it is. Now in this, you're going to see what they've been doing, which is not a whole lot in the Richmond area, but you do have the pitch and putt. You can see that. You can see this guy's house who refused to sell, so it's right in the middle of where all the houses are going to be. And then actually in the top left, you can see West DeLuna, which they're working on now. And from what I hear, they're going to be working on this after West DeLuna. So this entire area, I'm going to let you watch all of this. I'm tired of talking. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one.